What's going on, guys? I hope you're doing well. We have a new setup. This is temporary. Listen, I have a tripod coming in for Christmas. Don't stress, all right? It's going to be all good very soon. But listen, today I wanted to talk about judgment. And this was very random, but I woke up with this kind of conversation. And I just wanted to share it because I fall out of this a lot and it can be very easy to fall out of. So I wanted to, while I feel very strongly and confidently about it, I wanted to, write down my thoughts in this way through a video. So what happened basically when I woke up is I just got back home and I've been praying and I've been talking to God, being like, God, how can I be a better son? Trying to get back grounded and back to peace and just positivity and optimism, because like I said, it was, I was in college. I was just one, like, horse blinders on, working, not focused on anything. So I slipped out of a lot of habits, but I've been getting back to it. And so I was like, how could I be a better servant to you? What can I be doing better? What's something that you would like for me to see me do? And he was like, stop judging. And I was like, all right, whatever you say, I'm going to do, but explain it to me. Why? And that's something you can do with God, by the way, or when you're praying, or if you get the feeling like, oh, you should do this, it's okay to ask why. And so I was like, why? And he was like, because when you break it down to the smallest level, everyone and everything is just particles vibrating on a different frequency. So you are exactly the same as a tree in that you guys are both made up of these tiny little orbs in clouds, atoms, and the only difference is that you're vibrating on different frequencies. So everybody that you see around you that's a human is just basically exactly the same as you, just vibrating on a different level. And that's the same for animals. Even an animal, even a dog, if you see a pig or, a cat or a walrus, these are all just the same as you. So, he was also just like, if you would be born into anyone else's situation, visualize anybody in your head, and someone that you know, maybe even someone you don't like, someone you dislike, or you have resentment towards. If you were born into their shoes and you had the same traits that they had, like if you were them, if you were born being them, you would do the same thing as them. Not you would probably do the same thing. You would do the same thing as them, because everyone is just doing what they see as the best move for them. Or the best move, period, for them, for others, whatever. Everyone is trying to do their best. Even if they say they're not trying to, like, no one is trying to say, like, what's a move I can make that's going to negatively affect me and those around me. Let me purposely make this because I want a negative effect. Like, no one is going, you know what I mean? So he was like, whatever situation you would be born into, you would do exactly the same thing. And how can you judge someone else knowing that? It's like, he was like, it's like an apple laughing at another apple and feeling like it's superior to the other apple. Like, if I saw two apples on a table doing that, I'd be like, y'all are both apples. What are we doing here? Like, you're not a better apple than this other guy. You guys are both fucking apples. So he was like, that's how I see it. God was like, that's how I see it. That's how I see it whenever, my children are pointing at one another and feeling like they're better or worse than one another. And that's a key point right there, or worse. So it ties into insecurity. And so what he was saying is like, when you're doing that, you're like playing God. You're like saying, I'm above you. I'm above this. But how can you do that when you're literally of that? Like, that person is literally your family member. And the only person above it, the only thing that's above it is me. This is God saying this. So when you're acting like that, you're like playing God. And what that's going to create is a lack of understanding of yourself. And what that's going to create is craving. Because when you judge someone else, you are opening the doors of people being on different levels. So when you judge someone else and say, oh, okay, well, you're worse than me because I would make a better decision than that. That opens the door for you to say, oh, wow, I made a bad decision. This person is better than me. And now you're all messed up. And this opens the gates for craving, because you'll want to try to be better than others. You'll want to try to maintain your position as the highest on the social ladder. And it opens the doors for insecurity, like I said. And both of those things, craving and insecurity, will open the doors and welcome and have a feast for suffering. And we don't want suffering. So, and it's also just like, I feel like a lot of us, myself included in the past at least, have created this game for ourselves where we want to be better than another person, or we want to be the best that we can be. We want to present ourselves and have people think that we're the best person. And we've created this game for ourselves that we can't win. It's rigged against us, but we made it. How does that make sense? We made a game that is rigged against us. That's just like designing a video game where every time you spawn, you just get killed instantly. And we got to realize if we're existing in that game, or if we could just step out of that and just say, you're no better than me, I'm no better than you, we're different. You have a different trait, you have a different way of walking, you have a different look, you have a different accent, you have, you have a different sense of humor, all these things. Is it better? No, it's not better, it's just different. Maybe I haven't realized mine as well as you have realized yours yet. And that's okay. And that doesn't mean you're better, than me. It just might mean you're better at this thing than me for now, or not for now, or you just are. And that's okay too. And, so another distinction is like, he was like, you could still be mad at things. You could still be like upset if someone does something bad, if someone makes a very, bad action. You can still be hurt by that. You can be upset by that and feel it. That's okay. That's just natural human response. But remain neutral and don't judge it. You can say, oh, that was maybe, in retrospect, maybe that was a poor decision. But you can't say, how could he do that? Like, I would never do that if I was in his shoes and all these things, because you would. You probably would. If you were him, if you were them, if you know what I mean, if you grew up like them, if you had abusive parents the way they did, or like, you don't know, you know what I mean? You just don't know. So you can't play God and act like you would do something different. But yeah, that's what he told me today. And I really felt that. And I think I think it might be my oldest video on this channel is actually saying the exact same thing. Except I think it was 3 years ago. And that was working really well for me at that time. That was working very well. I was not insecure at all. I was like totally just confident. I just felt like everybody was just like a family. I just felt like we were all just like friends, you know what I mean? With without judgment. Like, and anyone that I could tell was judging, or going hard, I would just, cordially keep my distance from that. So I can attest that this is a successful method for operating life. It'll allow you to skip levels and feel a lot better. And it's a godly way. It's a godly, heavenly way. So just wanted to share that with you guys. And that's about it. Comment your thoughts on these videos, because I want this really to be a conversation. I love when people disagree with me, because it really makes me think about what I said. So if you disagree, let me know. If you agree, let me know. If you want, to bring the conversation to a different place, do that. Let's talk. I'll respond. And if you want, a different topic, let me know that too. So just whatever, just tell me. Let's just talk. So let's just lower the gates, lower the barriers. We're all on the same level. Let's talk. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Enjoy your day, guys. Peace.